Welcome to our journey into the unknown depths of terror. You are watching another thrilling episode from Prehistoric Beast Roar.
We're losing
the helicopter
altitude,
shakes
Mayday.
violently as the massive storm tears through the darkened sky.
Pull up.
We are completely losing our satellite signal now. The pilot screams in absolute panic while looking down at a mysterious island covered in thick, unnatural fog hidden from the world. Suddenly, a gigantic flying creature slams directly into the windshield. The glass shatters completely as the alarm sirens blare extremely loudly. The pilot yells for me to jump immediately. The camera shakes aggressively as I fall freely into the deep, dark jungle canopy. I wake up slowly on the muddy forest floor. Blood drips from my injured arm, while strange insect noises echo all around. The chest camera is miraculously still recording everything. Giant ferns surround my location, making me feel incredibly small in this ancient place. I pick up the broken radio from the wet mud. Only heavy static sounds come through the heavily damaged little black speaker. The ground suddenly vibrates beneath my boots. A massive footprint is deeply pressed into the soft earth right in front of me. A terrifying roar echoes through the dense trees, silencing every single bird and insect. I know I must start moving away
Easy
quickly.
now, watch your step.
Walking
We're
past
almost
the burning
through.
helicopter wreckage, I search desperately for any other survivors. Thick, black smoke rises slowly into the gray sky. There is absolutely nobody left alive here. However, I manage to find a loaded flare gun resting near a completely shattered window. I grab the flare gun tightly and continue walking deeper into the unknown jungle. The shadows grow longer and much more menacing. The atmosphere becomes extremely tense and suffocating. I can clearly hear the unsettling sound of dry leaves rustling right behind my back. I stop walking and hold my breath completely. A very strange clicking noise pierces through the heavy silence of the dark forest. A dark shadow dashes across my left side incredibly fast. I quickly turn on my flashlight, scanning the thick bushes very nervously. There is absolutely nothing visible in the immediate darkness. But that terrifying clicking sound happens again, and it is getting much closer. I swing the camera violently to the right side. A horrifying Velociraptor emerges slowly from the dense foliage right before my eyes. Its cold yellow eye reflects the bright beam of my flashlight perfectly. The beast does not attack immediately. It is just watching. Suddenly, another low growl comes from the opposite direction. I realize with absolute horror that an entire pack is actively surrounding me. Panic takes over completely, and I start sprinting blindly through the thick woods. The deadly predators chase me with unbelievable, terrifying speed. One raptor leaps gracefully over a fallen tree right beside me. My heart pounds furiously as I slide down the hill. I crash heavily into a shallow river. The camera is submerged halfway in the cold water while I desperately hold my breath. Heavy footsteps pace back and forth along the muddy riverbank. I stay completely motionless, praying that these vicious killers will not notice. One raptor lowers its terrifying head directly toward the dark water. Its razor-sharp teeth are just inches away from my face. Just as I think my life is over, a deafening roar shakes the entire valley. The raptor scatters away instantly. The water ripples violently around my trembling body. I slowly raise my head above the surface to see what frightened those monsters. Deep within the thick rolling fog, a colossal silhouette is steadily moving forward. Every single step creates a massive earthquake beneath me. Heavy bass sounds fill the damp air as the giant approaches. The entire jungle falls into an unnatural and deeply terrifying silence. I slowly turn my camera toward the towering trees. A gigantic Tyrannosaurus Rex emerges violently from the dense mist, looking absolutely furious. Thick saliva drips constantly from its enormous jaws, filled with dagger-like teeth. Its glowing eye locks onto my position with deadly intent. The beast unleashes a monstrous roar that distorts my camera microphone. I scramble out of the river and sprint for my life. Massive ancient trees splinter and fall right behind me. The apex predator is relentlessly tearing through the jungle just to catch me. I spot an abandoned concrete research facility hidden in the overgrown vines ahead. I push my exhausted legs to run even faster. I dive through the heavy metal doors just in time. I slam them shut and lock the rusty bolts with shaking hands. I collapse onto the cold, dusty floor, panting heavily in the absolute darkness. For a brief moment, there is only a terrifying silence. Suddenly, a gigantic claw scrapes violently against the steel door outside. The massive dinosaur is actively sniffing the metal, searching for me. I slowly back away into the gloomy hallway. Red emergency lights begin flashing rhythmically, casting eerie shadows across the ruined facility walls. I manage to power up an old dusty computer terminal. A chilling warning message immediately flashes across the cracked glass monitor screen. The bright red text clearly reads that Project Jurassic has completely failed. Security camera footage suddenly pops up on the flickering screen. Hundreds of dangerous dinosaurs are roaming freely across the entire island. Then, the final camera feed shows something truly impossible to believe. A mysterious creature, significantly larger than the T-Rex, appears briefly in the static. Before I can look closer, the power completely dies. The facility is plunged into pitch-black darkness again. I quickly turn my flashlight back on, shining it down the long corridor. I hear a very distinct hissing sound right behind me. I spin around in pure terror and point the beam of light. A Velociraptor is standing right outside the reinforced glass window. It smashes its thick skull violently against the fragile, transparent barrier pane. The glass shatters into a million tiny pieces. I turn around and sprint desperately down the dark hallway as loud alarms flare. Multiple hungry raptors suddenly appear from the side rooms, blocking my path. One vicious monster leaps directly toward my face. I instinctively raise the flare gun and fire it straight into the creature. Blinding red fire illuminates the entire dark concrete corridor. The burning raptor screams in absolute agony, crashing into the wall. I use this brief distraction to run into the main laboratory. I slam the heavy laboratory door shut and lock it tight. Outside, the terrifying sounds of scratching and roaring echo endlessly around. I carefully look out through the large observation window. Rain is pouring heavily outside, illuminated by occasional bright flashes of intense lightning. The massive T-Rex is fiercely battling the entire pack of raptors in the muddy lake. It is an absolutely chaotic moment. The giant predator bites a raptor and throws it violently across the yard. The deafening roars shake the entire building. Realizing they are completely distracted, I quietly open the back emergency exit. I must reach the old docks to survive. I sprint through the pouring rain, slipping on the thick mud. The roaring battle behind me slowly fades into the stormy background. I finally arrive at the decaying wooden pier. A small, rusty motorboat is tied tightly to the end of the dock. I jump into the boat and frantically pull the engine starter cord. The old motor sputters weakly but absolutely refuses to start. Those terrifying heavy footsteps suddenly echo from the dark tree line again. Boom, boom. The monstrous T-Rex has followed my scent here. The colossal beast steps out of the shadows, towering over the dock in the headway. Its massive jaws open incredibly wide. I pull the starter cord again with all my remaining strength. The engine finally roars to life, vibrating the entire boat. The T-Rex charges forward, crushing the wooden pier beneath its massive feet. I push the throttle to the absolute maximum speed instantly. The monster lunges forward, snapping its terrifying jaws just inches from the outboard motor. Water splashes violently across the cameraman's surface. The small boat surges forward into the rough ocean waves, narrowly escaping. The furious dinosaur roars loudly from the broken dock. I sit back heavily, gasping for air, while watching the cursed island slowly fade. A massive lightning bolt illuminates the dark sky. In that brief flash of bright light, I see something truly horrifying standing tall on the high rocky cliff above the jungle. A gigantic creature, far larger than any T-Rex, stares down at my boat. Two massive red eyes glow menacingly in the darkness.
We have multiple hostiles.
Suddenly,
The perimeter is
the
compromised.
broken radio
We
on
need
my chest
extraction
crackles
now.
back to life. A distorted, panicked voice breaks through the heavy static noise. The voice begs me not to return to the island if I am still alive. The radio signal then cuts out completely. The camera view glitches heavily before turning to absolute static. The nightmare on that terrifying island might finally be over for me. However, 24 hours later, all satellite signals from the island mysteriously vanished without leaving a single trace behind in the ocean. The military sent multiple search drones to investigate the exact location. They found absolutely nothing but empty water and floating debris. But deep down, I know the horrifying truth about that place. Something massive and incredibly dangerous definitely followed me on the boat. The ocean is vast and hides many dark, ancient secrets. We have barely scratched the surface of what truly lurks beneath. This survival story is far from reaching its final conclusion. The prehistoric nightmare has just begun to spread across our modern world. Thank you for watching this terrifying journey. Subscribe to Prehistoric Beast Roar for more cinematic encounters with the most dangerous ancient monsters.